Just ask you about the shootout. Like, what it goes through your mind when you're putting together a list of players before a game?
A few things. Like we go based on history, is something that we'll look at. So we have a kind of a breakdown of where our guys are and types of goaltender that we're seeing. And then in practice, when we work on it, we see if there's someone that's moving himself up the ladder or not. And we've tried to give our guys a little bit more information on what's working right now for guys to have success in a shootout, where the optimal place to shoot is from. So we've tried to take it to another level here this year, but a lot of it comes down to us choosing guys based on past history and what their success rate typically is.
Would you consider going with gut feel, like a guy's having a really good night and like this is our time to maybe give him a chance?
Yep, absolutely. I mean, our order changes. Like we made one slight change to it last game, based on a little bit of a feel and the way the game is going and the environment and all that stuff. So without a doubt, I think you have to use that. And analytics goes so far, but you also have to use your, as you mentioned, gut test for
Do
sure.
you subscribe to the theory that when you get in tight, you have to elevate the puck?
Yep, absolutely. There's a prime area that you have to try to shoot from. Goalies are so good now that unless you're exceptional at what you're doing, if you put it on the ice,
A shot at me?
most times they're going they're going to make that save. So a lot of times elevating is part of it for sure.
When you talk about giving them information on the goaltender that they're facing, are you doing that like a minute before they're about to shoot, or is this something you actually talk about before a game?
Yeah, it's Jason does a great job of setting our guys up for what they're going to see. So he has a video that we'll run on opposing goaltenders with some tendencies and areas that we might be able to try to capitalize on a goaltender. I mean, most guys at this level, I mean, if they're seeing it, they're saving it, and that's a big thing, is to try to find traffic. But we do have a bit of a pre-scout on goaltenders every night that Jason does for us.
Last question about the shootout, I promise. Are you okay with what Kuznetsov did the other day? Should there be a time clock?
Well, there isn't right now, so I am okay with it, I guess. So that's the best way that I can answer it. He scored on it. So he's really good with that move, and that's the move that he chooses to use, and it's probably because it's working. So he's still moving in the right direction. All that stuff comes into play. He's within the rules, so he has the right to be able to do that right now.
Speaking of goaltending, what can you say about what Jacob has given you through 3 games here so far?
He's been excellent. I mean, and we talked about this in Calgary before. It's not like we were expecting him to come in and be a little iffy. Like, he's an elite goaltender, and he gives us a chance to win, and that's what you want out of your guys. No different than Dan will be when he gets himself into the net. We believe in both of our guys, and we know they're more than capable of not just helping us win, but they're capable of stealing games.
And obviously, you've said that you believe in this guy 100%, and there's no reason that you shouldn't. But when he's in a third period situation the other night, he stops a breakaway on an elite score, the power play in overtime. What does that do for the guys on the bench too, and maybe increasing that?
It goes a long way. Again, it's them knowing that if there is a mistake that gets made, there's a guy behind that's pretty good chance is going to bail me out. But at the end of the day, that's what they're paid for too, and they get paid really well to stop the puck. And those are the parts of the game where they get fired up too. Like the challenge becomes me and a shooter, and that's why the best are the way they are.
You still like the way games are ended in shootout, or would you like to see more overtime?
I think I would like to see more overtime for me personally, but yeah, the problem is it's being coached a lot right now, where it's keep the puck, and you don't try to challenge until you get an odd man opportunity. So whether if it goes 10 minutes, will you eventually get a breakdown? Probably at some point, but it's a lot more hockey as well for the guys that play in those overtime situations. So there's a fine line I think you have to walk. Yeah.
I was just going to ask you, as a coach, do you still enjoy that 3-on-3 setup? As you say, you're trying to. I mean, it's tightened up in some ways now. Like,
Yeah.
It used to be so explosive.
It used to be for sure. It was back and forth. Now the only time it goes back and forth is if someone falls or you miss an opportunity at one end. Then you'll see it for a little bit, but other than that, it's pretty methodical now, where guys want to make sure they're when they have the one chance, they're not going to waste it. That's typically the way it's gone now.